Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of No Scores Sport Report. I'm your host, Crichton Johnson, and today we're answering the question, why does God hate me? But before we get into that historic Kentucky loss, first, baseball season started this Thursday, and already the Reds have managed to disappoint the fan base, losing 6-4 on opening day to the San Francisco Giants, blowing a 3-0 lead they had. Special thanks to professional choke artist and Dustin Henderson impersonator Ian Gabot for giving up 4 runs in the ninth. Truly world class. Though, to the Reds' credit, they were able to beat the San Francisco Giants yesterday 3-2. So it seems like it's shaping up to be another classic Castellini era Red season. You know, most baseball teams are owned by like oil barons or hedge fund managers or other businessmen of the nefarious lot, but no, not the Reds. The Reds owners got their money from fruit stands.
There's always money in a banana stand.
So us Red fans are pretty much just destined to a life of middling success, usually ending with our fresh new talent that we brought up through the minors going to other teams with more money and far greener pastures. Please sell the team, Bob. Please. All right, moving on to the U.S. men's soccer team. Last July, the devil himself, Greg Berhalter, was relieved of his duties as the coach of the U.S. men's soccer team and replaced by former Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, and Tottenham head coach Mauricio Pochettino. And spirits were pretty high until recently when the U.S. team went winless in the CONCACAF Nations League, losing 1-0 to Panama, who just continues to be a thorn in our side. Thank you, Panama. And then losing 2-1 to Canada to end our run. But, Canada might be the 51st state here anyway, so maybe we won't have to worry about that. But going winless in CONCACAF, no less, it leaves some things to be desired because this is the team we're supposed to be sending to the World Cup next year on American soil. They got some questions to answer before that time comes. And finally, the University of Kentucky Wildcats got absolutely blown out by the Tennessee Volunteers. You orange. I hate you. I hate you so much. I would have rather lost in the round of 32 to Illinois, honestly. I mean, I know we haven't been to a Sweet 16 in a while, but lose to Tennessee? It's by 13. A lot of people in this situation will say, "Oh, well, it's always better to lose handily because then it's not as painful as losing to tic-tacky fouls or losing a close one or something." But I gotta say, I disagree. What really hurt me was us getting beaten by a team that we had beaten twice earlier that season, while giving just the most incompetent performance you've ever seen, looking like we had hardly played basketball before in our entire life. Our inability to get rebounds was astounding. We only shot 15 threes, and it felt like we bricked every single one. And we were making bad passes, and there were times it seemed like people didn't know how to dribble. We couldn't get any uncontested shots. Credit to their defense. Our defense, on the other hand, oh my. I mean, it was like Swiss cheese. I mean, we weren't doing anything. The way we beat Tennessee those other times was for going up for threes, right? Really beating them there. And they completely, that facet of our game was completely missing from this latest performance. And just allowing Tennessee to get the glass every time, falling for that pick and roll, it was a sad state. And this isn't supposed to happen in our rivalry with Tennessee. It's supposed to be y'all beat us in football, then basketball season we beat you. It's not supposed to be y'all beat us both times. That's not how this rivalry's supposed to go. Oh yes, yes. Seethe, boy, seethe. Seethe in your jealousy for Tennessee. You'll never be the Vols. You'll never be Rocky Top. Kentucky is a blue blood no longer. I hope your bandwagon geriatric slovenly fan base weep their way back to Lexington. You know y'all are going to get whooped by Houston, right? Tennessee never makes the Final Four. Hey, you don't know that. We're going all the way this time. Uh-huh. Anyway, for Mark Pope's first season, I gotta say, while it's a little bittersweet the way it ended, I'm proud of it. I mean, 8 top 15 wins. We beat Duke. We beat Gonzaga. We beat Florida. We beat Louisville. Some of those things, Cal wasn't managing to do them last couple of years. And then obviously finishing in a Sweet 16, that was nice instead of losing to dumb teams like Oakland and St. Peter's and Kansas State in the round of 32 or even missing the bracket, which also makes me mad, by the way, that as soon as Cal goes to Arkansas, he makes a Sweet 16. Like, why couldn't you have done that with us? Anyway, while it's unfortunate the way it ended, going forward, I'm more hopeful for the future of Kentucky basketball than I was after any of those last Cal years. And that's it for this first episode of No Score Sports Report. Tell me what you thought down below. Tennessee fans, feel free to roast me if y'all end up beating Houston tonight and going to your Final Four. But until then, au revoir. Oh!